A little bit. Lana Richard. With my 10 favorite albums from 1982. And we're going to start off with a banger. It's Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. Now, I saw Judas Priest, I don't know if it was 82 or if it was 83, at the Long Beach Arena. Fantastic. And how this album starts, side one, is how the concert started. Just fantastic. Now, I would recommend this CD, the 30th anniversary edition of this album. It's got a DVD of them playing live at the US Festival. And it is just fantastic. It's still daylight when they're playing. And I've met a couple of people that went to that. And they said, man, the people that had to follow Judas Priest, man, they just didn't quite get to that level. But yeah, this is a great album. I thought it was going to score a little higher. I mean, the 80s production kind of started to creep in a little. Some of the drum sounds. But what brings this down for me is the fourth song on each side. Unless you want to call the Healing a song, you know. It's actually the introduction to Electric Eye. But you got Take These Chains on side one and Fever on side two. They're not as good as the rest of the album. But yeah, this is a great album, dude. Electric Eye. Number 9 is Fear, the record. Now, if side 2 was as good as side 1, this would probably be my #1 record of the year, dude. I mean, side 1 is just, Let's Have a War, Beef Bologna, Camarillo, I Don't Care About You, New York's Alright If You Like Saxophones, Give Me Some Action, and Foreign Policy. It's just one of the best sides ever. Side 2, We Destroy the Family. It's not bad. I Love Living in the City. It's great. It's just as good as the best on side 1. Disconnected. It's okay. We Got to Get Out of This Place. It's an okay cover. Fresh Flesh. Nah. Getting the Brush. Nah. And No More Nothing. A good ending. But yeah, it's a great album. Highly recommend. Bobby Gass recently listened to Let's Have a War, and he couldn't agree more. Number 8, Wall of Voodoo. Their third release, I guess their second full length. It's got their one top 40 hit, Mexican Radio. I don't like this one as much as the previous Dark Continent. The production's a little better. Some of the songs are just as good as the Dark Continent. I mean, we got Tomorrow, which was a single, and Mexican Radio. Both, the first song on both sides, fantastic. Just as good as anything they've ever done. Lost Weekend, a really slow spaghetti western sound. Great song. Hands of Love is a great song, too. Side 1 I like a lot. I like On Interstate 15 is another great song. I like all the songs, but some of it sounds a little familiar is what happened. And I guess they played the US Festival, that same festival that Judas Priest was on. I guess they had like a new wave day and a heavy metal day or a rock day. And I've seen footage of their performance at the US Festival, and it's not very good. I mean, there's only 4 guys on the back of the album. They were a 5-piece band. The band was starting to break up. I've heard Stan Ridgway say it was like drugs had a lot to do with it. And I don't know who and what. I don't know any of the details. But they had like a percussionist. They had background singers on that US Festival, and it was horrible compared to how I remember seeing them so many times at the Whiskey. They were one of the best bands in the late 70s, early 80s. And yeah, it's a shame that they fell apart. Stan Ridgway left after this. I don't have any of their albums after that one. I've been told that the one that follows this is really good. I know I've heard it before, but I should check it out. Give it another shot. Number 7, Christian Death. I would say maybe one of the most original albums from this year by far. It's Only Theater of Pain. Roz Williams, fantastic poetry. I would almost say lyricist. His singing, some people don't like. I think it's brilliant. The guitar playing on this is brilliant by Rick Agnew. One of the best guitar players, I think, around. And the rhythm section, the bass and drums are just so fucking strong, man. The drums are great on this. And yeah, it's the name Christian Death. I know it scares people away. It's really good. Their first few albums with Roz on vocals I think are worth checking out. I guess he came up with a name. It's like a takeoff on Christian Dior. But yeah, it's a pretty dark album, man. But yeah, it's a great, dude. It's great. And number 6, Discharge. Oh, the record I have in the middle. Yeah, it's in one of these kind of sleeves. And I don't know, I've heard that if you have the record in the sleeve, they tend to warp maybe with these kind of new modern gatefolds. I don't know. This is maybe the other one that's kind of the most original other than the Christian Death. Just totally sped up. Just, I mean, a major influence on bands. I guess D-Beat, which I didn't know back in the day. I don't even think it was a thing called back in the day. They started D-Beat, just that fast drumming. Major influence on what would become thrash. I was fortunate enough to see these guys too at Perkins Palace. And I mean, I was kind of a fan. I had the EP by them that came out before this when I saw them. I didn't have this. And I thought, you know, they were okay, you know. The songs tended to sound the same, and they kind of do. But man, seeing them live, it was just so powerful. It was like, holy mackerel, especially the guitar player, dude. But yeah, Metallica covered their songs. Number 5. Now, that bottom 5, they're all good, but this top 5 they're my top 5 for a reason. And they're not going to change. Number 5 is Misfits Walk Among Us. Their first full-length album. And it's just fantastic, dude. Every song in here is great. With the exception of Mommy Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight, which is recorded live. The production sound of it, they would have been better off just leaving that off. And make side 1 2 minutes shorter, you know. Big deal. And put that on that live album they released. But yeah, this is a great album, man. 20 Eyes, it starts out with. I love it, dude. Skulls is a favorite of mine. Number 4. This could be the album that I played the most, because I had a cassette of this, and I played it in the car all the time. And it's Circle Jerks, Wild in the Streets. I think this is a better album than their Group Sex. Group Sex has some great songs, but it's got some others that are filler, I would even say. But yeah, this is a banger, dude, all the way. Just one song into the other. And it ends with Put a Little Love in Your Heart. It's a kind of funny cover. Okay, number 3. Top 3 now. GBH. Charged GBH from London. No, I don't know. They're from England. They might be from one of those other... Manchester or something. They were on that Clay Records. This one is Clay and Roadrunner. I don't know. This was a band that was great live. I saw them several times. They were great live until their drummer got hooked on heroin. And yeah, the last time I saw them, I think I might have seen them one time after that. Yeah, the drummer, I guess, on that tour was, he was shooting up heroin. He was hooked on heroin. And instead of keeping the beat, he would like, now he was used to just go like this. And he kind of slowed it down to, he would, you know, every fourth beat, it was a beat now. And it just it wasn't working. You could tell there was something wrong. And that's where I differed. I had a little discussion with a jazz guy who subsequently unsubscribed me, and I ended up unsubscribing him, you know. He was saying that there's nobody in rock that can play how subtle the jazz drummers play. And I said, well, actually, there's a few people that were jazz drummers went into rock. And he goes, well, show me, prove it. Show me some demonstrations. And I go, well, I don't got to prove anything. But I don't think a jazz drummer, I mean, you can play jazz drums on heroin. You can't play jazz drums on hardcore, man. Let's just put it that way. Number 2. Probably in the years after, this is definitely the one I played the most. When my friends would come over, we played this almost every time. It's Angry Samoans, Back from Samoa. It's a great album. It's got the really short songs, Gas Chamber, The Todd Killings, Lights Out, Poke Your Lights Out, Scratch Your Brain with a Fork or whatever. My Old Man's a Fatso. Tom, my best friend, he loved that song. Time Has Come Today, it's an okay cover. Chambers Brothers. They Saved Hitler's Cock. And then it ends with Homosexual. Fantastic. Side 2, the same thing. And the album ends with Not of This Earth. Probably, I don't know, one of the best punk songs ever. And one of the best album covers ever. And yeah, these guys were good live too. But they were like just, the guy next door kind of guys, playing on stage. Number 1 album, 1982. Descendants, Milo Goes to College. Side 2 of this one is perfect. Side 1 is good, or it's great, but it's got maybe 1 good song, maybe 2. My Age, Catalina. But man, side 2 was Suburban Home. I don't want a hippie pad. I want a house just like mom and dad. Just fantastic. Ends with, and then Marriage. That's a great song, dude. Gina's Dead. Guess this guy's girlfriend commits suicide, and he kind of like twists it and makes it all about him. And why didn't she let me know? And yeah, it's very thoughtful lyrics, and just a great band, dude. That's it, man. Take care. Hope the Jets get a quarterback. Anybody but Rodgers.